The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Another vampire film, eh? I guess we do have to keep Von Murder happy, and he, Amber and Scott discuss Dracula. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
I have been summoned!
Oh, goodness, this is going to be an episode.
Yes!
Hello, Von Murder.
Hello!
All right, for folks who have not had the opportunity to listen to an episode, this is Von Murder.
Hi!
He is our resident vampire movie correspondent who joins us for any movie that is vampire related.
It was about damn time!
Did you just completely replace Scott today? Did you tell him not to come?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, I didn't even see you behind his...
Shut up, bitch! That was for Scott, not you.
Okay. Yeah, hey, Scott, you were actually hidden behind Von Murder's very large black cape.
Yes, well, he's not going to talk here. Unless I want him to.
Alrighty. Welcome, everyone, to Cinema IRL. This episode, we are talking about Dracula. Not one of the 37 versions of Dracula, but this version of Dracula, which is Dracula follows a 15th century prince who denounces God after the devastating loss of his wife. He inherits an internal curse, and he becomes Dracula. Condemned to wander the centuries, he defies fate and death itself, guided by a single hope to be reunited with his lost love.
I enjoyed this documentary.
Okay, so here's something that's interesting. We have seen a lot of Dracula films. I've never seen Dracula as a love story.
Well, there are ones, like Bram Stoker's Dracula. Kind of went down that road.
I did not see that one. I know that was a popular one. I did not see it.
Long time ago.
I mean, don't take offense to this, Von Murder. I'm not generally a huge fan of the vampire Dracula films. But
You're human. I can forgive you.
But this
As long as you go and see it. That way I can talk.
Yeah, no, it is the risk that we all take when we see a vampire film is that we have the opportunity to spend quality time with you.
The risk is 100%.
All right, so I have a couple of... So for folks who haven't had the opportunity to listen to an episode with one of our correspondents before, they provide us an opportunity to do some fact-checking on things that we don't always know. So we have Jimmy, who visits us for zombie films to give us the real facts behind what's happening in a zombie movie. We have Morty, who helps us with anything that's werewolf themed. And of course, Von Murder is going to fact check us here for vampire information that happens in the film.
Yep.
So, number one, this story of how this prince turned into Dracula was very unfamiliar to me. Can you help me understand the traditional creation of a vampire versus what we saw in this film?
So, I can try, for one, as best as I know the story, because I wasn't exactly there. That was an accurate recounting. Dude lost his wife, then lost his mind, and killed a pope.
Okay, so the curse came from killing the pope.
Yeah, if you kill a pope, you get cursed.
Okay.
Even I would draw the line there.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to get us started in the story, but I'm going to throw out some questions as we go. So we have this prince and his wife, and they are relationship goals. They love each other so devoutly and are just, they are just in rapture with one another. And
that's putting it lightly.
It is. And one day they Vlad needs to go to war. And so he gets pulled away from his wife, and he tells the Pope, tell God to protect my wife. I'm not asking, you're not praying, you're telling him to take care of my wife. And sure enough, she gets ambushed, she gets chased in a gruesome scene where there are fur traps all over that get the people, that take down all the horses. It's horrifying. And one ultimately gets her, and in his attempt to save her, he throws a sword or some sort of sharp thing at the man in front of her who's going to kill her, and it impales him, and we think, yay! But it goes through him, and it pierces her and kills her.
Yeah. Sometimes you're too good at your job.
He was really good at his job, as we saw later in the film. So she dies. He's devastated. And then I actually had to laugh at this on the screen. It was 400 years later, because, of course, 400 years later.
Well, first of all, I guess y'all do the what would you do's, right?
Yeah. Which is harder because, I would imagine you would do a lot of the same things we saw in the film, or no?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I would have sent Elizabeth to go hang out with the Pope.
Oh, that's interesting.
You don't want her dad to ever hang out with a high holy dude.
That is actually a really good point, Von Murder. Yeah, they were trying to get her away from the castle where she was safe, but most people would not have killed the Pope, so she would have been safe with him.
Yeah, if you want me killing in your name, take care of my wife.
Okay, so 400 years later, we meet Maria, who is a delightfully funny and enthusiastic and bubbly vampire. I want to be more like Maria. I loved Maria.
She had spunk. I like spunk.
Yeah, she was a heck of a lot of fun. But she also provided evidence that, there's vampires in Paris. And then we realized that Vlad, 400 years later, is still alive, and he's in his castle, and he looks very pale with very long hair done like Marie Antoinette. So this is my first fact check.
It was past his ass.
It was, and it was up all poofy in the top. So tell me, Von Murder, why did he look like that?
400 years will age you.
But isn't that the point, though? Is if you're a vampire, you don't age. I watched how many seasons of Buffy and Angel, and I know you don't age. That's part of one of the perks of getting turned is you are that age forever, or at least you look like it.
Okay, here's the thing. Buffy was false. That was a misconception. I'll tell you the real deal.
Okay.
It has to do with drinking blood.
Okay.
The more you drink, the younger you look. So if you don't drink a lot of blood, you're going to start to look like shit.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So is that why when he ultimately left the castle, and we're cutting out some of the film here, but just to clarify this fact, where he met the castle and then he found his wife, that he looked the way he did 400 years ago is because he had fed?
He had a buffet on the way there.
Okay. So when you don't have blood, you start to physically age. And when you have blood, then it's like, whoop, all your blood cells are puffed up and rejuvenated and you're youthful again.
Yeah. It honestly, it's pretty similar to even how you humans work. If you have a body part that gets cut off from blood,
Okay.
what color is your hand going to turn? Like your hand or whatever? White. Because you don't have blood.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Just the way with us vampires, it's more of a whole body thing. Like it's that on drugs.
Drugs?
Yeah, like our whole body. And we don't drink blood.
Why is it like your body on drugs?
No. I'm like if you cut off circulation to your hand, it's just a little thing. For us, it will turn us white and age us.
Got it. Okay. So let me understand something else here that's happening with the film. So for 400 years, he has been searching for his wife. Now, his wife is dead. she's in a coffin. But in one of the flashbacks, we see him in a fit of desperation taking the lid off of this very heavy lid, back in the olden days, pushing it off and smashing the coffin to get to her, and it's all dust. What did that mean? I didn't understand that because not enough time had passed for her bones to disintegrate. But what was that about? Can you help me with that?
Kinda, yeah. Now, this is not something I can say for sure. I have a guess that's educated. He slept on that grave for like a while.
He did. He got snowed on. He was devastated over her loss.
And he had been cursed.
Yes.
He was in close proximity to her for a long time.
Okay.
You know how at the end he turns to ashes?
Yes.
It works by proximity too.
Oh, that's
If
interesting.
they're dead.
Okay, so him mourning her and grieving and laying on top of the burial area.
He basically cremated her.
Wow, I didn't know that was a thing. That's crazy.
Again, can't say for sure, but I believe that is what it is. It's actually not something I've ever dealt with. Like, I never had a chick I liked that much.
Okay, well, and this is one of the really valuable parts of having you here is to be able to provide those either those facts or those theories, because I wouldn't have gone there, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So for 400 years, he is looking for his wife. Now, this is the thing I don't understand. Why would he be looking for his wife? His wife died partially at his hand. Why would he be looking for his wife?
Okay. So this is actually something I know a little bit about.
Perfect.
Primarily because of me. Sometimes you die. I died on the battlefield. It was Joe and I.
Okay.
I was dead.
Okay.
The next thing I knew, I was back up. It was like 100 years later, and I was thirsty for blood.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that phenomenon. How does that work?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, who studied it?
Well, doesn't that fall into the category of zombies then? If people are dead and they come back from the dead? I mean, should we bring Jimmy in here for the take
No.
with zombies?
No.
I mean, we can,
No.
if you want to surrender the chair, we'll bring in Jimmy.
Hell no.
Jimmy, is Jimmy here?
No.
Okay.
I'll put his ass in a coffin if he shows up.
Okay. So then if you're going to theorize here,
Here's
why
the
is it-
difference.
Okay.
With zombies, it takes seconds, maybe a couple minutes. For a vampire, you're looking at the minimum several decades. And generally more like 100 years.
Okay, so even though he was not...
And it's not the same form. It's a reincarnation.
Huh, okay.
It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it because I didn't really remember a second childhood. I mean, I had my first one. So I don't know. Maybe is that my spirit somehow got put into someone? This is an area I actually don't know.
Okay, well, this is an interesting bit of information then, because it does help me understand, because ultimately 400 years later he does find his wife. She looks exactly the same, but her name is Mina, and Mina was just proposed to. She's supposed to get married soon, but even though she has dark hair and his wife initially had blonde hair, she looks exactly the same. And I was confused about this. I'm like, okay, how is this a thing? Like, she's obviously not 400 years old. She's obviously not a vampire. She has no knowledge of this.
You know how we live in a simulation?
Has shared the simulation theory with me. I take it he shared it with you and you buy into it?
Into it. It said it's true.
Okay, for people who aren't familiar with this, do you want to tell them what that is? Or Scott, do you want to weigh in?
Okay, I will weigh in briefly on this one. And this is...
actually what I believe. So roast me if you want.
Yeah, he's not kidding. This isn't content. He actually does believe this.
Yeah. There is some alien species that
Sorry.
we are unfamiliar with, and they are a much higher form of intelligence.
I don't think you've ever said that we're an alien species before. I think that's new.
Well, anything that's not us would be an alien.
Okay.
So
So are
it doesn't
ghosts
mean little,
aliens?
It doesn't mean little green men. More than likely, it's an alien species that looks almost exactly like we do. We probably got formed in their image.
So clones and ghosts are aliens?
No.
Okay. This could be a whole episode. Anyway,
Yeah.
get to your simulation.
This species is their world is collapsing. They're seeing signs of full deterioration, and they want to stop it. So what they've done is they've created simulations, and basically, what would be like millions of years for us is probably like 15 seconds for them, or maybe a little longer. I don't know. But so you have the actual sim, and they give it like various starting variables. Like there is a similar sim that Donald Trump was not president.
Okay, we are rapidly digging down the rabbit hole here. So
Okay, my point is that essentially think of souls like hard drives. They go in and use them, and when they're done, they get formatted and reused. And as you're going through them, you'll keep reformatting ones, but obviously the birth rate exceeds the death rate, so they keep introducing new ones.
and is that why you have reincarnation where you feel like, oh, this feels familiar to me? Is because that disc wasn't scrubbed fully?
Well, that's how I've always explained things like people remembering past lives and stuff like that. And by the way, when you see weird things in the world you just can't explain, it's literally a glitch.
Okay.
But
Okay, so let's wrap this up so we can get back Von Murderer. He's over there acting twitchy.
yeah. So actually, I'm going to let Von Murder finish this because this is where he knows and not something I necessarily know that much about. Okay. Listen, if they really screw up that hard drive, formatting it like a really bad job, it can actually work as sort of a reincarnation. Like you're not just seeing echoes of a past life. There's enough of it there that it actually takes a presence within you.
Okay, so Mina was not necessarily Elisabetta, who had survived 400 years later, but Elisabetta was born into a body that looked like Mina was born into a body that looked like Isabetta, and it had the memories of Isabetha?
Yeah, same hard drive.
Okay.
And here's the thing. More than likely, she actually came back a few times in that, and Drac just didn't find her.
Oh, she was born and died.
Born and died. It took him 400 years, but he eventually got there.
Okay, so when he showed her the music box and played it for it, and that was the one that his wife had initially played, where it was a, come to me, wherever you are in the castle, I need you, come to me, kind of a come and get it music box. He played that for Mina, and she thought it sounded familiar, and then she listened to it again, and it started bringing back memories.
Yeah, so I'm going to step in here real fast.
Okay.
Because I think I have a reasonably scientific explanation for this.
A scientific explanation for Dracula. Okay, go ahead.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying I'm curious.
You better watch it.
I know.
Don't piss him off, please. So you know how people who have dementia,
Yeah.
you can play music for them,
Mm-hmm.
and it will help them like remember things from their past.
Music is a very powerful memory stimulator.
It is. It is a very powerful memory stimulant. So my guess here is that this music box works in a very similar fashion to how it does with people with dementia, like being able to remember things. Only for her, because she has that weird hard drive that Von Murder was talking about, the music makes her remember the past lives, where normally a reasonably formatted hard drive is not going to do that.
This is
It'll help you with your own, but if there's still like a sector in there that's actually part of a past life, which I'm assuming is what you mean by reincarnation.
Yes, that is exactly what I mean. And yes, it works the same way.
This is an interesting conversation. I never thought I'd hear the words hard drive and Dracula in the same episode.
I mean, it might not actually be
Why are you talking? We're done with you.
Okay, bye. Welcome back, Von Murder.
Anyway,
So,
I know what he was saying.
yeah.
It might not be a hard drive. I'm just trying to put it in terms that we'd understand.
Okay. Well, you've actually helped clarify a lot of the questions I had along the way, and your explanations actually make a lot of sense. So let me ask you just directly here. Is there anything that you saw in the film that you thought, oh, yeah, no, what I would have done, what would you do that you would have been like, oh, no, they got this all wrong?
For one, who am I to second guess Dracula?
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a film. It wasn't the real Dracula.
It's pretty close to a documentary.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like you're saying they got a lot of it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also it should be noted that the whole thing with the gargoyles and all of that, that's not because he's a vampire. That's because he's a rich vampire.
Well, it
Us
turned...
commoners, we don't get our gargoyles.
Okay, well, the thing about the gargoyles is once Dracula dies, spoiler folks, those gargoyles turn into children. So they were magically turned into flying, mystical, magical gargoyles, and they were actually kids. So they were child labor and got to be returned to being children after he died. So
yeah, I don't know about all that. It should be noted that Dracula, best I know, literally the most powerful vampire out there. Period. Dude can do things I cannot at all. I don't know about the whole kid gargoyle thing. That's definitely out of my realm.
okay, so when we explore what would you do if you had the capacity and capability of Dracula, would you enslave young children to serve as gargoyles to protect your castle?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
They get to live in a castle for like years and years and many years. Yeah, I'm doing them a favor.
Well, I mean, that's a way to look at it. I don't know if that's the civil rights way to look at it, but so what else here from a what would you do standpoint? If anything, would you be like, okay, well, I'd look at it. It sounds like you're pretty much backing the documentary here of how things happen. Was there anything there that you thought I might take a slightly different take on it? Because you mentioned the putting your wife with the Pope at the beginning. Anything else like that?
Yeah. So one thing I did not like the filmmakers doing actually was at the very end.
Okay.
They made Dracula look like a pussy.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah. He just stood outside the door and said, "Stake me."
Yeah.
That was not true.
Yeah, because, okay, so this actually brings up, I guess, another one of my questions, is he was trying, so at this point, Mina has basically succumbed to the fact of, yes, I was your wife from 400 years ago, and I love you, and I want to be with you, and I'm so happy we're reunited, and we're at the castle, and everything's great. But then the army comes in, and the priests come in, and the doctors come in, and they are bound and determined to kill Dracula and save Mina, who at this point is fully into the fact that, no, I'm not Mina anymore. I'm your wife from 400 years ago. And Dracula says, hey, save her, stake me. How does that save her? She's already been bitten. She's already been turned. How does that save her?
Okay, well, again, this is an area where the filmmakers kind of got it wrong.
Okay.
But they were right that if you kill a vampire, anyone they've turned does revert.
Oh, okay.
So I think the theory was, I'm going to save you from this eternal curse by dying right now myself. That pissed me off.
Oh, okay.
Because mind you, the events of the castle were factually accurate, mostly.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Only in reality, and maybe the filmmakers just decided to screw with the ending here. In reality, he gets out of there just fine. There's a lot of dead bodies, but none of them are his. He does die later, but it's from an ambush, not actually in that castle willingly.
So, Von Murder, did you ever meet Dracula?
No.
Okay. The one thing that really struck me as interesting in this film is...
I wanted to.
I'm sure, definitely meeting your idols, right? Is he was a passionate love machine. Like, I didn't know. Was it that he was because that's who he was before he was turned? Or cursed, I guess, in this case. I didn't know that there was such epic love story behind Dracula.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about becoming a vampire. Certain traits that you have get amplified.
Okay.
So, yeah, he basically was a big sex machine. He became a bigger sex machine.
Well, I mean, he was before his wife died, before he was cursed, like he was madly, passionately in love with his wife. And it was that love and passion that drove him for 400 years to find her.
Yeah. I mean, good for him. Like, for someone like me, some people thought I was a jerk when I was a human. I know. But maybe they're right. Because now I've pretty much gotten a full-blown asshole.
Yeah, I can see a trait being amplified and, resulting in what we see with you here today.
I mean, I did die on the battlefield. So, you can't be all peace and rainbows while you're out there slaying.
Yeah, there's not a lot of hippies out there slaying.
Yeah, so you kind of have to have some jerk or asshole in you to even do that.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, anything else that you think is important for our listeners to know, Von Murder, here before we wrap up this episode of Dracula?
Yeah. Two things that got brought up in the film, sorta. One was implied. The other one, let me start with the garlic. We just don't like it.
Okay.
Like, that's some weird trait with vampires that we just don't like it. It doesn't screw with us. Like, if we ate it, we might get a little sick. But it's not, like, lethal. Some people just don't like foods.
That's interesting. So does that mean that there are fewer vampires in Italy? Because Italy definitely loves their garlic.
Well, eating garlic is maybe a good tiebreaker. If someone's trying to decide whose neck to bite. Like, if you just ate something super garlicky, you're probably fine.
Well, and that's why I'm wondering about the vampire population in Italy, where they love their garlic on everything. I'm just wondering if that is a less desirable place for vampires to live.
Yeah, kinda. Because of that. Now, you could like garlic and eat it as a human, and then become a vampire, and you're just kind of repulsed by it.
Got it. Okay.
So, and yeah, a lot of people eat the garlic. Again, they're going to do what they got to do to stay alive. Well, not stay alive, but stay young-ish.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, normally, like up there in the Transylvanian realm, not nearly as much garlic.
Okay, that's good to know. And that's the kind of fact-checking that we really appreciate here at Cinema IRL. So thank you for bringing that reality here to our episode. What was the other thing that you wanted to mention?
Yeah. So, remember when he was outside the convent?
Yes.
And he was trying to get an invitation inside?
He was.
So there is a myth that vampires have to be invited.
Yeah, we saw that in the film Sinners that we talked about in the past.
Yeah. That's actually just a myth.
Okay.
We, as vampires, are actually rather polite and we just don't want to bust into someone's house unless we're invited. It's kind of like an advantage that we'll give humans. Just, I don't know, because they're dumb. But it's also noteworthy that we generally have various levels of hypnotic powers. So we can attempt to get an invitation and then kind of coax it out. But still, we want to hear, yes, we want you in our house.
That's really interesting, and that is a misconception that is pretty prevalent across humanity. And to know that that's actually just you being courteous is great information for everyone to have. And I imagine if you look at older time periods, the 1400s, the 1600s, people were very polite and had manners back then. Of would you like a crumpet? Can I get you some tea? Can I invite you in? And I imagine that that was something that might happen a little bit more than now, when people just, why are you at my door?
It's not required. But here's the thing. If you just barge in on someone's house and start draining veins, the other vampires are going to make fun of you. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, why couldn't you have just gotten an invite or use hypnotic powers? Do your powers suck? Are you just, not good enough to do it?
Wow.
Yeah. So, I don't want that kind of
bad reputation.
Yeah. And trust me, we've got our own little Facebook now.
Wow.
Yeah.
This
we used to be, we had to go around talking to each other, but now we can make fun of someone in just 30 seconds.
So there's a Facebook group chat.
I mean, kind of. It's similar. It's not Facebook, but it's kind of like Facebook.
Okay.
And here's the thing about vampires is that there is some sort of a connection between all vampires. It's not like I know exactly what you're doing, but it's that sense and feeling when something weird's going on. Mm-hmm. And if you barge into someone's house, we're all going to know it.
Wow. Wow. I'm so grateful that you were here today, Von Murder, to really help add so much context and education and insights to what we might have just seen as a film, but really highlighting the historical facts of this documentary.
Yeah. Well, we get misunderstood a lot. I mean, we'll usually suck someone dry if they don't understand us, because that's kind of how we are.
Uh-huh.
But there needs to be more education about this. Maybe we could actually come out of the shadows more often. We don't kill everyone. You're still here. That douche Scott's still here. Hey, shut up. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that y'all wouldn't like as much on the account of us killing you.
Right.
But trust me, it ain't personal. That was the other thing that Vlad said that most people actually wouldn't know.
Okay, what's that?
Drinking blood is nasty. It's just nasty.
Oh, okay.
I don't love the taste.
Okay, so you just do it as survival, not enjoyment or recreation?
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
If I can find a way of sprucing it up, great. But, normally it comes straight from the neck. So I just try to find someone who just came out of a buffet. That way it kills the taste somewhat.
Wow, okay, well, that's a good reason for none of us to go to an all-you-can-eat buffet then, I guess.
Yeah.
Survival tip there.
Let me tell you, there's more things, but I need a reason to come back. So I'm not giving them all to you right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate you squeezing us into your busy schedule and really...
Busy schedule. I got the time.
Okay, well, I appreciate
I'm 700 years old.
That's true.
Who's bothering me?
That's a really good point. But
I'm as busy as I want to be.
Okay. All right.
Seriously.
Okay.
Get me back.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Von Murder.
Oh, bye. Ha ha!
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.